Do you know what this egg has to do with learning English? Today I'm going to tell you a little story about eggs and use it to help you remember some useful vocabulary. Welcome to English Coach 3Ts. I'm Tanya. You might hear the birds in the background peeping a lot, and I promise I did not steal this egg from them. I don't know why they're so talkative today. But I do want to tell you a little bit about my experience collecting eggs when I was a child. When I was a child, I grew up part of the time in Nebraska, and a lot of my family were farmers, and I used to go and help my aunt collect chicken eggs. So normally when we use the word collect, we mean something that we are getting, like collecting eggs, or something that we like to get and keep. So you might know that I collect jars. I wouldn't actually say I collect jars in the sense that I just go around looking for jars and keep them on display in a display case and maybe find out the history about them and things you might do if you were collecting stamps or collecting dolls or something like that. Is there something that you like to collect? Tell me in the comments below. I collect jars as something to use. I use them as storage containers, mostly for food, but also sometimes for things I like marbles or little items that I want to keep all together. But when we are collecting eggs, it means we're going to get the egg out from under the chicken and take it to our home so that we can use it. I'm hosting a free webinar for women called 3 Secrets to Becoming Fluent Without Wasting Time and Without Doing Things That Don't Work. If you'd like to join this free webinar, click the link in the description below or go to the link on your screen and you can sign up now. As a child, I was a little tiny bit scared of collecting eggs because the chickens would peck me on the hands. I can't say that it hurt a lot. It more startled me. It scared me and made me not want to do that. But overall, I remember the whole thing of living on the farm and helping my aunts and uncles as something that I really enjoyed doing. But today, I want to tell you another story about how this egg can teach you some very useful words and verbs beyond just collecting something. If you like to learn words and phrases in stories in context like this, be sure to give us a thumbs up and save this video so you can practice and share it with a friend who wants to be fluent in English. So, I'm not sure if you know this. I only learned this little trick in the last 5 years or so, but there is a nifty way that you can find out if an egg is still good or not. Now, nifty means cool or interesting, but I will tell you it's a little outdated. It's something I like to say. People my age or maybe just a little younger than me and older will use this word, but if you're in your 20s or 30s, nifty is probably not a word that you would use. So I have had eggs that I'm not sure if they're still good to eat, but I don't want to throw them away if they're still good. So I learned that you can actually do this little test. So all you need is a cup, in my case it's a jar, and some water. And you're going to pour the water, this is pouring, into your container. I like to use something that's glass so that you can see through it. And then you're just going to put your egg in the water, or you could say place your egg in the water. They basically mean the same thing, but when we place something in something else, it means we're being a little more careful or gentle. So I'm going to place this egg in the water, and you can see that my egg sank to the bottom. So when something sinks, it means it goes down under the water, usually under the water, but we can sink into a cozy blanket or sink into a lovely novel. It just means we're getting into something. But the first meaning is to go down into water. So I can see that this egg is probably okay to eat. Now, it is tipping up. So what that means is it's not down like this, lying down, it's tipping up. It's probably on the edge, meaning it's maybe okay to eat, but it's probably getting close to not being able to eat it. So it's on the edge. It's kind of in between. I personally would not eat this egg because I like to be a little more cautious. And so an egg like this, I might give it to my dog. Espy likes scrambled eggs, and she can eat eggs that are on the edge very safely. But the other thing I might do is just compost it. In other words, to throw it into my compost pile where I put scraps. Scraps are things like peeling from vegetables, things that you cut off, fruits and vegetables that you're not going to use, or eggshells or things like that. You put it outside. For me, I have a hole in my garden and I put those things there. They turn back into really nice, rich soil or dirt for growing new things. Now, if this egg had floated, in other words, if it did not sink, the opposite of sinking is floating, and it were floating on top of the water, then I would know for sure it is not a good idea to eat it. It's no longer good. I wouldn't eat it. I wouldn't give it to Espy, but I would put it in the compost because it still has a lot of the good nutrients in it that can go back into the soil for growing other new things. I'm curious if you know any nifty or useful hints like this that you can use in the kitchen. I always like learning things like this that make life easier. Another little tip for you. My girls, who are both in their 20s, would say that this is a hack. It's a kitchen hack. It's something we can do to make life in the kitchen easier. I had never heard something called a hack until I was like in my 40s. Now, I had heard of hacking, but hacking at something is like chopping. Like if you hack away at something, then you're cutting it, you're chopping it. I hadn't heard of this new way of using the word, a kitchen hack, a cleaning hack, things like that, until much more recently. I think because this word became more popular with the internet. It's really common for words to change and evolve when things are changing, like the internet has changed our lives. If you're interested in learning more words and phrases in context, go ahead and take a look at this video with a story. Or if you haven't seen any of our live videos, take a look at this one and I'll see you there. Bye.